Hello, it's Ileana and I have another process video for you, this time using the Pinkfresh Studio Up in the Clouds collection. And it's a picture of my younger boy, Elias, when he was just a couple of days old. And we had the photographer who was a friend of ours from various antenatal groups I was meeting up with at the time. And so Kay Graham took the picture, and she had especially knitted the hat and kind of like a body glove. A really cute little knitted, I think knitted at least, not crocheted. Anyway, so she came to the home and took a few photographs of him as a newbie, and we sent that particular picture out as the birth announcement. So as you can see, I decided to stitch the edges to soften that leaf, or feathers actually, feathers paper with a bit of vellum. And it's recycled vellum from a newspaper advert. I've been using that quite a bit, you might have noticed. But, snag, I didn't adhere it down particularly well. And then when I went to stitch around all four corners, I made a right mess of it. And so I've had to try and remedy that by kind of pinching the bits behind where the photo is going to go, so those creases won't show, adhering that down a little bit better, but not in the part where the sewing machine is going to sew back over it, and hopefully nobody will be any the wiser, except for you and me, my friends. So I've gone with a few elements as well. So there's another card from the collection, and it says, "You may say I'm a dreamer," and I don't need to tell you what song that's from. And I've used a bit of Christmas paper that I've had floating around, which I find really useful for just giving a gold rim to things. So I've done that for other layouts as well, and I thought it would be very fitting to do it here, since that's the kind of style that Pinkfresh has gone for, a very gold foil collection there. Now this yellow paint and the whole strip of paints there came from about a year ago Quirky kit. And the challenge with this Facebook group this time for the Up in the Clouds collection is to use paint. And so I've gone with that on the outside rim of the card, and I think I use it on the complete layout as well ultimately. So right now what I'm doing, it's a feathers kind of roller stamp with the embossing ink, just a clear embossing. It's not, is it? I've put glycerin in that pad, you'll remember from the last layout. Anyway, just heat embossing that. In fact, it's hardly going to show. It's just going to be a really small kind of bit of interest on the outside rim, because that yellow paper, really faint yellow, is just going to back and be a border to the ultimate layout. And as I said I would, I'm putting yellow paint all the way around the outside edge there as well for you. Now this paper is my background piece. Found that really challenging, but ever loving a challenge, I've gone with it anyway, and I'm just gutting out the middle bit that I'm going to be using, and I will be using that paper border for something else in the future, rest assured. So just going to adhere that down. In case you're wondering why there's a bit of green washy there, with the magic of camera I cut all that out, but the way I had cut the edge was a bit snaggy, so it was just to secure that loose kind of piece of paper just off the edge. But it doesn't show, and anyway I'm ruffling the edges, so it's all supposed to look a bit distressed. If I'd have had some forethought here, now what I would have done is stitched the edges, which I'm about to do, well, later on in the process. I'm all a bit flitty back and forth, but if I'd have had the foresight, I would not have stuck anything down on the corners, because then what I found was, as I was trying to go around the perimeter, the needle got stuck. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this ribbon, browny kind of shade, is another upcycled piece, and it's from Molten Brown, if you've ever heard of that. That would have come as a gift to my husband, no doubt, for his birthday last year, and so it was really lovely to be able to use that up, along with some of the blue and dotty fabric ribbons I have as well, which were a bit more recent, and I probably got those from the works, and most probably at that because I just fell in love with the colour of the blue lace, which I'm going to be adhering down on this layout too. It's a really gorgeous shade of turquoisey blue, definitely right up there with my favourites. So I'm getting those ribbons down, 3 of them in all, and because I know I want to tie a knot on the front of that sort of a fake bow, I've left a little gap to give me some wriggle room to do that bow and keep it looking fairly authentic. And as you'll see, I will do that later, and I'll just secure it down with some foam adhesive. But yeah, for now I'm just using the ATG to secure all 3 ribbons down to kind of act as a grounding for the picture, since it's kind of high up in the layout, floating a little bit otherwise. So I'm just recreasing the edges there. Back to the sewing machine, or Magica camera. What I've done there is to stitch rather badly those ribbons down on the edges. As you can see, it's a little bit crooked, but since I don't mind the kind of kooky homemade look, I've just left it and not unpicked it. And I have got, as you can see, a ton of this, well, yards and yards of this lovely twine. So I've gone with the kind of messy twine look behind the photo. I've had this kind of silky fibre paper. I would have got it from WH Smith years ago, and probably in the sale at that, but not used it. And I just thought it would make for a really nice soft background, kind of fluffy the edges a bit. And so it was really nice to pull that out and be able to make some good use of it here, I thought. So I'm just thinking about whether to unravel a bit more of that twine, and I decide I will. As you can see, just whizzing forward with some glue and some adhesive foam tape as well to get the dimension across the whole back of that photo, and slapping it on. And I'll be doing the same for that card as well, but I'm just going to cut some of the video out because you don't need to see that twice. So there you go. Kind of messing with some of the twine there to make it look kind of random, but at the same time I wanted it to show I was finding that it was all getting tucked behind. Now there isn't an awful lot of journaling on this one, and in fact the title is just "You May Say I'm a Dreamer." I haven't even done anything special with that, but it was very fitting of the photo. Oh, I'm going to do the journaling in a minute because I just want to explain those stickers. You can hardly see what I'm playing with there. It's like a clear sheet of acetate, but I'm just writing the word December in between a sticker that says best ever, and those were from a quirky kit last year, probably the same one as I got those paints from. I've only got really few pieces left of that particular kit, and now only one sticker left of that Heidi swatch. So that was one of those last 2 I had remaining. It's nice to get that down. And the rainbow, and a sticker from some other collection that says welcome home, because of course, well, actually now's the time to read the journaling, because actually this I thought would be nice to mention. It was lovely to have Elias at home with us on his actual birthday. Lorenz too showered him with kisses. There's not much going on in that journaling. There's a lot more in my memory that will trigger, hopefully. And it's all about the fact that he was born in hospital, came home the exact same day. We were able to introduce him to his older brother, and his older brother, not being a kissy, huggy kind of boy at that time, really showered him in gentle kisses, and it was just the most moving thing. Really lovely, and I was so pleased that happened. This is a new vellum tape, or washi tape, actually, I should say, that's so thin and papery with tiny little triangles on it. I was just itching to use, so I did on this layout in a couple of places. So up the top right, and tucked in behind somewhere else. And I'm actually getting to use some of these puffy sticker pieces now from the collection, as well as those wooden, they're like ice gems to me. I'm not sure if that's a brand that's recognised worldwide, but I remember growing up with these little biscuit sweets, and that's what those kind of white, blue and pink dots remind me a lot of. And that's the only pack I got. I didn't get the green and blues. I just got that colour pack. Oh no, I lied. The layout does have a name more than You May Say I'm a Dreamer, and it's called Zeds at BedZed. And the it's a bit obscure because the Z and the S are not the way I would write those in any case. Kind of cursive and special. But anyway, for the sake of getting a title on the page, I just went with a really short one. And of course, Z's signifying sleeping, and the BedZed where we are located and where we still live to this day. And that's the journaling going down there with some gold pen. Apart from that, I'm just going to be putting a bit of gold splatter around the layout, and I think it's pretty much going to be done. So that's the point at which I'd like to say thanks so much for watching. Really look forward to seeing you again soon. Appreciating all the lovely comments that you've been leaving and the thumbs up. Thanks so much for those, and I look forward to seeing you soon with another process video. Bye for now.